Hare Krishna. So in the last section, we saw how that the Supreme is not only having an impersonal aspect of being a divine light, being the source of all power, but at the same time, we saw that the Supreme also has a transcendental form, and therefore there's a personal aspect to the Supreme Lord because we ourselves have a personal aspect. In fact, we ourselves do have an impersonal aspect as well. Take, for example, a signature. So, when we sign something, when we put our signature on a paper, that is actually an impersonal representation of ourselves. For example, if I were to list down some rules of do's and don'ts, and I would sign it off with my name, and whoever maybe follows me or listens to me as an authority, they'll be like, oh, he has mentioned so and so. Now, I'm not physically on the paper, nor am I physically present, but just my signature, which is my energy in one sense. That's my impersonal energy. So even the jiva, being a part and parcel of the Supreme, the living being, also has an impersonal energy to some limit and a personal form again to some limit. So why not the Supreme having both? In fact, in the Vedas, they go as far as to say that the Supreme has three features, not just two. These three features are actually called as Brahman, the impersonal aspect of the Supreme, Paramatma, which is the localized aspect of the Supreme, and Bhagavan, which is the personal aspect of the Supreme. So, we discussed before how the Supreme is Sat Chit Ananda, eternity, full of conscious and full of bliss. So, Brahman is the Sat aspect, Paramatma, which is the Lord located in everyone's heart, the localized aspect of Lord, who is pervading and existing everywhere, that is Sat and Chit aspect, whereas Bhagavan, the personal form of the Lord, is Sat Chit Ananda. To give just a very simple example, if a person is wanting to go for a hike on a mountain, when you go for a trek, so from far the person will see that a mountain is nothing but a huge structure or huge object which is just green or brown and from a distance. So that is like Brahman, where you see God is just light. But as one goes closer, then one realizes, oh, the mountain is filled with trees and rocks. That is like Paramatma. You start to realize there is also some action behind just being a white light. Paramatma, which means the super soul in English, is sitting in the heart of everyone and guiding all the spirit souls, all the jivas in their whole life. And when we further go on a trek, we realize they are also living beings. They are animals, they are plants, they are varieties of different kinds of creatures. That is like Bhagavan aspect. When you go further, you actually realize that the Supreme is a transcendental person who loves, reciprocates. In the Vedas, the name for the Supreme God is given as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the identity of the Supreme Person, one name which is given for God. Krishna means literally black, whereas Krishna also means in Sanskrit Sarvam Akarshiti iti Krishna, the most attractive personality. So that person which attracts everyone is called Krishna, or Krishna means black. Very interesting, black is the color which absorbs even all kinds of light. Even light gets absorbed into the black color. And if you mix all kinds of colors, like for those who do painting, if you mix all colors together, they turn black. So black is like the summum total of everything. And Krishna is all attractive, attracts everyone, every single person's attention. So why is this so? Why is Krishna given as the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Where there's a definition of what Godhead or the Supreme Divine Being must possess 6 divine qualities in full. What are these qualities? They are mentioned in Vishnu Purana. Aishwarasya samagrasya viryasya yashasya shriya jnana vairagayuschaiva sannambhaga itangana. 6 things are mentioned here. Aishwarya, which means all wealth. Viryasya, all power and strength, chivalry. Yasha, all fame. Shreya, all beautiful. Jnana, all knowledge. Vairagya must be the most renounced. So in this world, you'll find many people who are strong, many people who are beautiful, many people who are wise, many people who are rich. But none of these people in this world have all these qualities in full. And in fact, anyone having even a trace amount of any of these qualities becomes immediately attractive. So how much more is the Supreme Person who has all these qualities in full, who has all these qualities in an unlimited number, and therefore Krishna is most attractive. So why is it said that Krishna has all these 6 qualities? Let's quickly look at some examples given in Shastra. First is wealth. Krishna has wealth in full. An example is in Dwarka, Krishna had 16,108 palaces, and he was present in all these palaces at all times. And it's also mentioned that he is being assisted by thousands and thousands of goddesses of fortune, Lakshmis. Strength. Krishna, at the age of 7 years old, lifted Govardhan Hill, a huge mountain, on his left hand, on his little pinky finger. So these are the different pastimes that he did just to exhibit his opulence. Once there was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada who painted the picture of Krishna lifting this mountain, and she drew Krishna with a lot of biceps because it must require a lot of strength to lift it. Srila Prabhupada, who's the founder of ISKCON, he came and he said that, well, Krishna doesn't need biceps to show that he's strong. Krishna is strong eternally. God is always strong. He does not need biceps and triceps to lift a mountain. The third is fame. So Krishna is extremely famous from his different pastimes of stealing butter when he's dealing with his mother, and he's known by various names across India, and he's just known as extremely attractive and lovable, so unlimitedly famous. The pastimes of Krishna has been going on at least now since 5,000 years. A person who has 5,000 years of fame. The fourth aspect is beauty. Beauty. So Krishna is given beautiful descriptions of a young 15 years old boy who has darkened skin like a fresh rain cloud. And his sweet glance, his sweet smile, his beautiful jet black curly hair, all these kind of descriptions are given. The fifth is knowledge. So Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna on a battlefield, and this conversation is being studied by thousands of people. People have done their dissertation and postgraduate study, PhDs on this conversation. This conversation is sought after for people, and anyone who studied the Bhagavad Gita will realize that it's just so amazing, the kind of knowledge that Krishna has presented to Arjuna. And last is renunciation. Krishna is the most renounced. Despite doing everything for all his devotees, the hero of the Mahabharata war, the famous history of India, the Mahabharata, was not attributed to Krishna. Although Krishna had orchestrated everything, Krishna is not known as the hero of Mahabharata, but Arjuna, the Pandavas, they are known as the hero. Krishna is not even known as the king of Dwarka. So on and so forth, Krishna always, despite doing everything, remains in the background. So Supreme Person, God, has his hands everywhere, yet he is also the most renounced. Hare Krishna.